If I get to 500 subscribers before December 27th, I'll do a Q&A for my birthday.
Well, we did it. You know what that means. Play the new intro. It's February 9th, my birthday. And like I've been saying since August, I would do a Q&A for my birthday if I got to 500 subscribers before December 27th. And we not only accomplished that, we added another 100 subscribers and more since then. So let's begin. Starting off with Carbo 8613, with the A's likely to move to Vegas and the Rays likely to get a new stadium in St. Pete, MLB expansion is closer than ever. What two cities do you think will get a franchise? Okay, this post was made a few months before, so the A's are moving to Vegas. Tampa Bay apparently has a stadium ready in Ybor City, or no, not Ybor City, in St. Pete, which they need to go to Tampa, not St. Petersburg. But when it comes to MLB and expansion, I think there's too many cities to choose from. I mean, Montreal is always going to be brought up, Charlotte, Nashville, apparently Orlando and Salt Lake City, they want teams, plus Portland. And maybe even Vancouver or Mexico City. There's too many cities to choose from. It's definitely a topic for another video. Frank McQueen Jr. 8451 asks, which creator or creators influence you to start producing content of your very own? So, like Urinating Tree, The Hockey Guy, Tom Grossi, those were like the three big sports YouTubers I watched. And then there's this other YouTuber named Scrubby, or a former YouTuber named Scrubby who retired from YouTube a year ago. He didn't post sports content, but I mainly liked what he did. So yeah. Jaylen Barnes 2.079 asks, what made you fall in love with hockey? I mainly grew up playing hockey. I started playing floor hockey in kindergarten. But there was one day that made me a true Blues fan, if that's what you're asking. December 14th, 2013. The Blues were playing the Blue Jackets. The Blues fell behind 3-1, but rallied to come back, tie the game, and win in overtime. And it was that day that changed me forever. That's when hockey became my favorite sport, and I became a diehard Blues fan. If it wasn't for that day, I am a different person. Trey Magathan 847 asks, what are your thoughts on Jordan Bennington's tenure on the Blues? With Jordan Bennington, it's a bit mixed, to say the least. I will definitely remember him as the goalie that won the Stanley Cup in 2019. I mean, with the antics he does, yeah. I mean, you really don't want him doing that. But at the same time, there's a bit of a hypocrisy with Avs fans who get mad at Bennington, even though if it was any other goalie or even Patrick Waugh, they don't bat an eyelash at. But I mean, I will remember Bennington as the goalie that won the Cup. And if he does break any more records, there's a very good chance his number will be retired. I will die on that hill that he just needs, if he breaks some records, like most wins, his number will be retired. Jordan DCBC asks, how long have you been a St. Louis fan? I've mainly been a St. Louis fan since I was born, nearly a decade and a half ago. Mr. Moose 6619 asks, I see you're a reluctant Chiefs fan. Were you a St. Louis Rams fan? Do you want an NFL team in St. Louis? Alright, so yes, I'm a reluctant Chiefs fan because anytime I try to root for them, they'd make themselves unlikable, and that would annoy me. Now with Taylor Swift, I'm going to say it immediately, she gets a bit too much hate for doing what men do, which is root for their team. So I know, yes, I know. Now I'm the most hated man because I defended Taylor Swift. I know, call me a simp right now. But yeah, I'm a semi-Chiefs fan. Mainly I root for the Chiefs because I have family that root for the Chiefs. And they send me stuff because I have a Chiefs shirt, a Chiefs beanie. And yeah. So, and getting back on topic. With the Rams, yes, I was a fan back in the day. I have a fable memory of going to a game at the Edward Jones Dome. But that was a really, really long time ago. I still somewhat remember the day that they moved, or at least seeing it on the news that the vote passed that made the Rams move. So yeah, I was a Rams fan, and Yes, I do want an NFL team in St. Louis, but there's a catch. It needs to be an expansion team. No moving a team to St. Louis. First off, I made a video on explaining why sports teams moving to St. Louis is a curse, and it needs to be a team born and raised in St. Louis. Charlie ND says, first, the new mic sounds fantastic. Thanks, Charlie. And second, he joined the sub. Also thanks. And he asked, who are your least favorite teams and athletes? Alright, with teams. In the NHL, it's the Chicago Blackhawks. In MLB, it's the Chicago Cubs. In MLS, it's Sporting Kansas. In NBA, I'm gonna say by default it's the Boston Celtics, which is a little weird for a St. Louis kid to hate the Celtics. But yeah, the Celtics or the Bucks or the Nets or the Sixers, basically any team that is a rival to the Raptors. And in the NFL, by default, it's the Rams. Now, in terms of athletes, I'm not sure. I can't think of any athletes I really hate. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to think, oh, but you hate Kadri because of 2022 and Bennington and water bottles. Not exactly. I mean, I've gotten over it. I want to pretend that I'm being the bigger man because I've gotten over it, but I've really gotten over it with the whole Kadri thing. Because regardless of whose fault it was, the Blues beat the Avs with a healthy Bennington, regardless of whose fault it was for Bennington getting injured. But getting back to the point of least favorite athletes, I'm not entirely sure if I really have a least favorite athlete. I mean, I hate Kane. I hate Taves for what they did with the Blackhawks. I hate Chris Bryant because of what we did with the Cubs. I don't know. I feel like I mean, I guess with athletes, although part of me is starting to really hate Angel Reese for some reason. But I guess that might be because of some of her character, with her actions with her GPA. That might just be me though, and that might be a one-time thing. Hopefully, she gets better and she can become a star in college basketball. But I guess maybe Angel Reese. But hopefully that changes and I can change my mind on that. So I guess Angel Reese, maybe. Fantastic Voyage 262 asks, I don't think this violates any of the rules. It doesn't. I'm fascinated how channels come up with their usernames. So how did you come up with penguinnot? I know you aren't a Penguins fan, but I'm still not going to figure it out on my own. Alright, so with the name penguinnot, it happened a few years ago where I'm pretty sure it was 5th grade. I can't remember what day, but I randomly just smashed together penguins, my favorite animal, and note, the nickname for the St. Louis Blues together, and that's where the name penguinnot came from. I think one of these days I'm going to make a video explaining the penguinnot brand, both the name and all the logos I use. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Nexus02 Gold Knight asks, A, what is your favorite sports league to watch? The National Hockey League. B, are there any rule changes you would add to the NHL? Okay, first off, we're getting rid of the trapezoid. Second, instead of a 3-on-3 overtime for 5 minutes and then going to a shootout, we're getting rid of the shootout and then going to 10-minute continuous overtime. And then third, we're bringing back pregame warm-up jerseys. I don't know if that's a rule in the NHL rulebook, but we're bringing back warm-up jerseys. And then finally, random question, what is your favorite day of the week? I'd say it's either Friday or Saturday. And I guess because, I guess ironically, this video is coming out on a Friday, or is out on a Friday, and I was born on a Friday, and today my birthday is on a Friday today, so I guess Friday is my favorite day of the week. OG Pyro 12 asks, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel? I guess it was mainly to fill in the niche that other sports creators weren't covering, mainly defunct teams like the Kansas City Scouts, St. Louis Browns, and St. Louis Hawks. And then eventually it snowballed into other things like talking about North American sports logos and something random like sports teams moving to St. Louis. So mainly it was just to fill in the niche of certain sports topics that weren't being covered. Wyatt Burns 2467 asks, have you ever been to one of your team's games but when your team is the road team? Yes, I have been to road games 3 times for 3 of my favorite teams. So first, in August of 2017, I went to see the Cardinals play the Royals in Kansas City. In October of 2018, I went to see the Blues play the Blackhawks in Chicago. And in February of 2020, I went to see the Raptors play the Pacers in Indiana. And B, what do you think will be the next pro sports franchise to relocate after the A's move to Las Vegas? mainly if there's any team that is going to relocate, it's probably going to be the Coyotes. And I guess it's by default. I can't think of any other sports team that will move. I mean, maybe the Rays at the stadium somehow falls apart again, but it's probably the Coyotes. I don't think any other sports team in any of the 5 major sports will move in the near future besides the Coyotes. Anthony Rivera 0917 asked, A, where did the name Penguin Note come from? I smashed together Penguin and Note. B, I hope this question isn't personal, but would you consider doing a facial reveal? Shh. C, this one's not a question, but move all Canadian MLB, NBA, MLS, and NHL teams to American cities. Canada doesn't need American sports teams. Let Canada have their own sports leagues. But why? Why wouldn't you let Canada have their own teams in leagues? And especially since the NHL started in Canada, that's a little odd to say. Anthony, I don't know if this was supposed to be some fame, some click or bait, but that's a weird statement to say. Spencer Roudabush asked, face reveal. Shh. U/ShadowToast76 asked several things. 1, what's your view on Kansas City? A rival, an enemy, a sister, a friend, or something else? I guess with Kansas City, I honestly view them as basically, I'm going to say the sister and the rival, I guess both of them at once. Not exactly an enemy, but I guess not really that friend part either. Any of the friend part comes with being this Missouri family, even though Kansas City is a stepchild of Kansas. But yeah, I guess I view Kansas City as both a rival and a sister. Number 2, why are the Raptors your favorite NBA team? They're Canada's team, and I love Canada. I became a Raptors fan in spring of 2018, before they traded for Kawhi, before they won the finals in 2019. 3, what made you decide to start a channel? I said this a few times before, but I'll say it again. It was mainly to fill in the niche of talking about certain sports topics which aren't being covered. 4, who is your favorite player in all 5 major sports? In hockey, it's Jordan Bennington. In baseball, it's Lars Nootbaar. In soccer, it's João Klaus. In football, it's Patrick Mahomes. And in basketball, it's Grady Dick. If you could delete one team from each American sports league, which would they be? In hockey, the Colorado Avalanche. In baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. In soccer, I guess by default, I'm going to have to go with LAFC. In football, the Los Angeles Rams. And in basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers. 6, what is your second favorite team in each sport? In the NHL, Seattle Kraken. In baseball, the Kansas City Royals. In soccer, by default, CF Montreal. In football, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in basketball, either the Utah Jazz or the San Antonio Spurs. 7, what's your favorite college team? I don't really have a favorite college team. I mean, I used to be a Mizzou fan because I wanted to go to Mizzou, but not really anymore. I don't really follow college sports. 8, do you like video games? And if so, which is your favorite? I mainly like the EA NHL games and the LEGO Traveler's Tales games. And 9, if you controlled which teams won the 5 championships but couldn't pick your favorite, who would you pick? Alright, in the NHL, for the Stanley Cup, I would choose the Florida Panthers. For the World Series, I would pick the Baltimore Orioles. For I believe it's the Anschutz Cup, I would go CF Montreal again. For Lombardi, I'll go with the Detroit Lions. And for the Larry O'Brien, I will go with either the Utah Jazz. I think I'll just go with the Utah Jazz. U/CharlieND asks, who is your favorite music artist? I don't exactly have a favorite music artist. I'm like one of those persons that takes songs and puts it in a playlist, although I actually did. So I do have a Spotify playlist. I will put that in the link in the descriptions if you want to check out my Spotify playlist. But yeah, I don't exactly have a favorite music artist. An anonymous person on Snapchat asked, least hottest sport. That's a very weird question. Least hottest sport. I mean, is that supposed to ask which sport is played in the coldest weather? Because if that's the case, I guess hockey? Or is that supposed to be the sport that insinuates their athletes aren't the hottest? That is a very, very weird question to ask. I don't know if I have an answer for that. Unless someone can give me an explanation as to what this means. I really don't have an answer for it. If anyone does give me an answer in the comments, I will post my answer there. An anonymous person on Snapchat asked, "How tall are you?" I am 6 foot 5 inches. I am not joking. I am 6'5". Anyone who knows me in person can back this up. Another anonymous person on Snapchat asked, "Do you think the Blues will make the playoffs?" I honestly don't know. When I first posted or opened up the Q&A, the Blues were a few points out of a playoff spot, but when this is being recorded and is posted, the Blues are currently in the last wildcard spot in the Western Conference. It's honestly going to depend on which Blues team we see moving forward. Do we see the team that humiliated the Avalanche 8-2? Do we see the Blues team that fell apart against the Sharks? Do we see the Blues team that won 5 in a row? Do we see the Blues team that laid an egg against the Blue Jackets? I'm going to need answers soon. We all are going to need to see answers, so I honestly don't know. I don't know if the Blues will make the playoffs or not. Amy Q asked, "Favorite complex food?" And so you know, fish sticks don't count. Fish sticks do count as what's a complex food. I'm going to need to look that up. Okay, complex foods are complex carbohydrates, apparently high in energy. So peas, beans, whole grains, and vegetables. Apparently this became cooking with penguinnot now. But I'm going to say peas. I like eating peas a lot. I know. Peas, they're good for you. Eat your vegetables, kids. And finally, Haley asks Aiden, first up, you spelled it wrong. First, do you love your mother? Yes. Do you happen to be gay? No, but I am an ally. And finally, why do you love the Blues? I've been a diehard Blues fan, or at least a Blues fan since I was born, and I truly became a diehard Blues fan on that fateful night in December of 2013. And that's it for the first ever Q&A. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Now, when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a jersey and hat collection video. One more thing. For those wondering if there will be another Q&A, I haven't decided yet. I will let all of you know when it happens. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I'll see you in the next video.